Good morning. Welcome to another 6 a.m. sketchbook session. Technically, it's like 6:15, almost, but we're here. We're good. I'm going to be trying out these paints. I've never heard of them. Well, I've never heard of this. I've had ink from this company before. That was nice. So I saw these at Michael's, and I had a coupon, so I bought them. So I'm gonna go ahead and open them up. And I do have some drawings to like color, so we can try them out. I haven't done a whole lot of watercolors recently, and I almost felt like you shouldn't buy more watercolors because you're already not using the ones you have, which, you know, there's some truth to that. There's some truth to that. But here we are. Here we go. The case is pretty basic in terms of function. I do like the color though. I think that's cute. All right, I guess we'll unwrap these. Maybe. Oh, there we go. There we go. There's some space. You could add like a whole another pan almost. Right there. Maybe two. Maybe two. Well, you could do one. But then you could add another one as well up here. So you could add like 2 half pans if you're interested. Okay, let's go ahead and swatch. If I don't have time to paint like actual images today, I will just come back and do it tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and label these just their names. I don't really care about the pigment information. I mean, it's on here, but I don't care that much. I wonder what the A stands for. All of these have an A before the pigment information, besides this one, which has 2 A's. Interesting. All right, so this is Gamboge. I think it's a good assortment of colors. I think they look pretty bright, even on this, like, this is mixed media paper, so it's not like the nicest paper. Okay. I think this set was like $30, which I feel like is kind of middle of the road. Definitely not the cheapest set you could get, but also not the most expensive. All right, so I actually tore that out so that I can reference it, and also it's like wet and I wanted to like turn the pages, so here we go. I mentioned when I was coloring the other side of this page with those little houses in a previous video that I really wanted to try getting used to like watercolors in a more sketchy style. Because I always, like, whenever I sit down to do anything in color, I feel like a lot of pressure to make it as finished and polished as possible. And I find it really hard to just sketch with watercolors. So I kind of want to use this sketchbook specifically to get over that. I love the way a quick watercolor wash looks, but I often second guess whether or not it like looks impressive enough. And just like, you know, if you didn't spend hours and hours layering and blending and all of that, is your art actually any good? Like I genuinely think that. Like it has to have a massive amount of time invested in order to be good, quote unquote good. And that's just not, like, art doesn't have to take a long time. It often takes a long time, but it's not like a requirement for good art is that you had to have spent hours. So I'm trying to get over that. What if her sash was also that pink? Oh man, I kind of dig that. I'm digging it. So like, I think this is fine the way it looks, but there's just part of my brain that is like, but you did it kind of quick, so it's actually not any good. What a weird brain we artists have. Do I have any actual topics to talk about today? I guess I kind of do. So something I've been thinking about recently a lot, is drawing art for the right reasons. And I talked about this a little bit in a previous video where I was kind of like removing the pressure of money and income from my art. So I no longer am pushing my art to make tons of money. So I talked about that in a previous video, and kind of going from that, I've also been trying to work on detaching my art from approval. And I think that's kind of the harder one. Because I'm of the opinion that art needs an audience. Like that's part of art. It's about communicating with other people. So therefore you do, like, I think sharing art is part of making it, is, you know, putting it out there. It's part of the process. But I was thinking about how often I really want my art to get approval for me. Like I want it to be the pathway that people use to, I don't know, give me approval. And so I've been trying to detach it from that and not worry about whether or not people like it, I guess. I want to like it, for sure. So I want my art to be likable. And I tend to like a pleasant aesthetic of art. So like I want things to be pretty and elegant and appealing. That's just my personal style preference. So I want it to be good, definitely. And then beyond that, I want to communicate clearly. So I want people to understand what I make, and I want people to just kind of understand my point when I illustrate something or create a story or whatever. So I want to communicate clearly, and I want my work to be pleasant to look at, but I'm kind of letting go of the idea that my art has to be accepted in order for me to be accepted. I'm kind of okay with the idea that I am accepted by people around me and by friends and family, regardless of my art. Now, I'm fortunate enough that most of my family and friends, all my family and friends really, are very understanding about my art, very supportive. Like, I don't have a whole lot of friction in my daily life of people like not approving of my art or disliking it. So I'm lucky in that regard. But even though that's the case, even though, you know, there's no one around me like disapproving of my art, there's part of me that just always feels like art is I don't know if the only way to be accepted is the right way to put it, but I guess that in order to be appreciated, my art has to get like approved or something. Like I often feel like my art needs a stamp of approval from other people. Which, you know, no one likes their art to be disliked, so that's fair. But it doesn't need to be. It's very nice when it is accepted, but it doesn't have to be accepted by the people around you. It can be good art and not accepted by the people around you. It can be good art and not even acknowledged by the people around you. When I say people around me, it may be the people like immediately around you, like in real life, in person, or people online, which for me I think is the bigger struggle, because I've definitely had success with social media in the past, and so there's just part of me that's like, if social media isn't, I don't know, if I'm not getting approval for my art on social media, I'm gonna take that to heart, that my art is somehow failing, and we're gonna have to adjust to get social media to accept my art. That's not great. It's not a great way to live, because I mean, I love you guys. I love your support, but I don't know you. I don't know the people. Like these are strangers on the internet, and I appreciate their support and I value their opinion, but ultimately I need to be making art for reasons outside of the internet, outside of approval. So I've been kind of using it to help me make art regularly, because if I find myself hesitating or being reluctant to paint or draw, I'll kind of be like, what are you concerned about? Why aren't you painting? And a lot of times it comes down to like, it probably won't be any good. I'm feeling rusty, so the painting probably won't come out well. And I'll just kind of be like, that's okay. Actually, you are not losing any value as a human being if you sit down and paint something and it doesn't come out okay. You're still a good human being. And I don't know, just sometimes you have to like walk through some silly arguments in your head in order to feel comfortable sitting down to draw. And that's one of the silly arguments I have to go through. It's like, you're not a bad civilian if you take time from other things to paint and draw. You're not a bad person if the drawing comes out badly. You know, you just have to like, there's a bunch of like subconscious arguments you have with yourself, and if you just let them stay in your subconscious, sometimes they just take root, even though they're very silly. And you have to be like, all right, let's dig up these subconscious arguments one by one and actually get them addressed. Art is such a tricky thing, because we, as artists, we really want to tie it to like our self-worth as humans. and I don't think that's entirely wrong. Like, because here's why. I think art is a good thing. So therefore, if you are making art, especially if you are really pursuing it and you want to offer it to other people, like if you're doing that, I think you are putting something good out into the world. So if that's the case, what does it mean when you choose not to put something good out into the world? or when you try to put something good out into the world and it doesn't come out the way you expected. Like, if we were basing it purely on logic, wouldn't that mean like you put something bad out into the world? Like, if art can be good, can't it be bad? I don't know. We're thinking real hard this morning. So I think what I'm really doing more so is disconnecting the end product from my personal value and attaching my value more to the practice of sitting down, the intention of sitting down, the effort to develop the skill and develop the habit and discipline, which those are all things I can control. I can control whether or not I sit down and make art. I can't always control whether or not the art looks good. If I could, it would always look good. But I don't have that kind of control. I'm not at that level. Boy, I really like her sash being pink. I always paint it like blue, the same color as like the skirt part. I really like it being pink. Anyway, so yeah, I don't think you're a better person because you make a good art, but I do think there is value in trying to make art and trying to be good at it and trying to share it, trying to communicate through it. So I guess I am trying really hard to focus on the effort that I put in and the discipline that I put in, and the care and attention. Like, those are personal virtues. Whether or not the painting comes out good, that's not a personal virtue. That's a skill issue. That does not say anything about who I am as a person. Just says maybe she don't know what she doing yet. I'm liking the way these are coming out. I want to do some larger sketches of her like this. I figure like this is probably like her nighttime wear, and I kind of want to draw it larger sometime. I think one of the reasons I've been so focused on trying to get into a better headspace with art is because my time is limited, and I just feel like I need to get to the point where I can just sit down and draw without worrying about outcome too much, without worrying about success. I mean, I want to do a good job. I'm not saying that I just like don't care about how my art comes out. But I need to do something to take off the pressure because I don't have a lot of time to make art and I can't be wasting that time. Oh, this should have been striped the other way. We did that one wrong. Are we gonna commit to it? No, we'll do it. Yeah, we're gonna commit to it. If I am super concerned about doing it right and I only have like, I don't know, a few minutes each day, and there's an intense pressure to get it right because I only have like 30 minutes or something, or an hour, it adds an intense amount of pressure. So I just feel like I need to get to this point where art is not a big deal. Like, sitting down to paint should not be like an existential crisis. It should be fun. It should be relaxed. It should be quick and easy and approachable. So I feel like that's why I've been spending so much time thinking so hard about my motivations and inspiration to make art. So for these flowers, I'm painting them with a yellow wash first. I'm making it super wet. Like, this is like a puddle of yellow paint on here. Then I'm going to dry it off a little bit and go for my pink permanent rose and go around the edges like this. But I have really noticed like the big difference in like how easy it is for me to sit down and draw as I'm sort of changing my priorities. So this idea that your art needs to perform, that it needs to be on a stage, that, you know, art is only good if you are on a stage and people applaud. I've been working on letting go of that idea. And what has changed, many things have changed, but what has changed is it feels like I'm hanging out with just a friend again. Like, instead of art is my job that I must show up and do, it feels more like this is a fun thing that I get to do, which has been a really nice shift. I feel like I've been missing that for like a super long time. And it's nice. Even this habit of doing a sketchbook at 6 in the morning, I don't do it every day. I mean, you guys are seeing these come out once a week. But I kind of like that. So my goal is to do like 1 or 2 6 a.m. sketch sessions a week. And then I film them and edit them over the weekend. Or I film them and then over the weekend I edit them. And it's kind of nice that this routine is turning into a habit, but like a low pressure, very achievable habit. I'm excited for that. And I realized this video that you guys are watching, this is the first video of April, because I have officially scheduled videos throughout all of March, which I don't know if I've ever done that before. Had an entire month of videos scheduled ahead. That was pretty miraculous. All right, so that's all the flower petals. Are we gonna go for just bright old green for the stems? I kind of want to do like green mixed with indigo. I'm gonna do green first, just basic green, and then I'm gonna go over it with indigo, I think, to add a little bit more subtlety. Since this video is already a bit rambly and disjointed because it took me 10 days to paint these flowers, I will also share here, these videos have been performing a little bit better. I was kind of surprised. It looks like overall the views, like the number of views isn't super high. But the amount of time watched is growing, which is kind of cool. So like, it'll be like 30 views, 30 people watched it within the first day, which is not very high for me. But the people who watched it on average watched more than 7 minutes, which is high for me. So that's very interesting, I guess. I would rather have fewer people watch the entirety of the video versus like more people who only watch the first like 30 seconds. All right, for the shadow, I'm gonna just go with indigo. Yeah. I'm gonna add, I feel like the flowers just need more contrast, so I'm gonna add this. If you are one of the people who sticks through these videos, these long ones, all the way to the end, I appreciate you. Because let me tell you, most people don't. So if my amount of time watched is high, I know it's because of you. And I do pay attention to that. I don't know who watches the videos all the way through, but I appreciate you. All right, so there's the finished page. It took me so long to come back and do those flowers, and they took like no time at all. Very fun. I did really enjoy using this set from Niji. It's a great little set. I feel like it's perfect for carrying around with you. It kind of covers like all of the basic colors, but also just enough that you can get some good mixing, you know. I think it's a good versatile set. So upcoming in the next few weeks, I've got this spread. Oops, it's still wet. I've got this spread to work on, and this spread, which is a sci-fi story that's been bubbling in my brain. So if you are interested in seeing more, definitely stick around. And if you want to see a sneak peek, this is the first April video, so over on Patreon, I'll be posting a video of painting this page. There's a quick sneak peek. All right, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.